Hello again, Internet, as Allie pops in for a hot second. We will get to the show in just a second as we retweet out all of our links as
What
we
was
need
that?
to do. Allie's still giggling in the background.
Who's up?
Hi, I'm sorry. I thought 110. I was just coming in to say hello if you needed help, and then all of a sudden you're live, and I was, oh no!
We were ready to go right as you popped in.
All right, well, bye guys. Have a great show.
All right, now awkward silence as we all do the same thing.
Yep, now everyone's retweeting it.
I don't see any live comments either.
All right, I guess
You
only
see
cool
private?
kids get.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Cool. I'm the cool kid with comments, I guess. Anyway.
Universe makes no sense.
Jump into today's show, which is brought to you by Strava Craft Coffee. Strava is rich CBD-infused coffee that you can now purchase in K-Cups for your Keurig. You can also get it in whole bean or ground options as well. And whichever type you buy, you can get 20% off when you use code DNVR20 at checkout online. The CBD is non-psychoactive, and it's been known to help with aches and pains like migraines, IBS, even things like anxiety, and that it will help you a lot of the time. So give it a try today, and just remember to use that DNVR20 code. Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast for another Free Skate Friday, sponsored by Davidson's Beer, Wine, and Spirits. I'm Rudo. Joining me, as always, is AJ Hafley. We have Evan, our other beat man, with us as well. And back on the show again, Jesse Montano, back to just chat a little bit of hockey and shoot the breeze about all of the hockey news. Jesse, how you doing?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day outside, and we're talking about some hockey with some like actual information to go off of and some dates and stuff. So I couldn't be better.
I mean, you say actual information, but man, if hockey isn't great at just leaking out the tiniest little details that they can bit by bit. So we'll use what we can.
I was saying, like we were saying before, as of right now, we're in better shape than the NBA and MLB. So
that is very true, especially in the MLB. But
man, how crazy is it that after like a decade of relative labor peace, like everything is coming apart at the seams for baseball? Like their players and owners like openly hate each other, and like aren't even like players are just taking to Twitter to be like, nope. Guys are going on Twitch channels and being like, nope, I'm not playing for these fools. Nope. Like, you want to talk about a problem? Like all that. It makes the NHL look downright harmonious right now. There have been no problems.
It was just crazy how messy the MLB got so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we might postpone something. And they started killing each other. Like right away.
Like the seasons got suspended. Baseball hadn't started yet. The Baseball and the Players Association got ahead of it, came to an agreement before everything shut down and was like, hey, we're going to do like a 50-50 split. We'll revisit this later when we get ready to go. But like, let's at least agree on this. And it happened quickly. And it seemed like everything was fine. And now they're trying to find their way back because they see sports, like baseball's being played in Korea every day. And it's like, this is the easiest sport to play because you guys don't have to physically touch each other all the time. Like, what's going on here? And these guys are like, nope, F you back.
Baseball is like a socially distant sport as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you're in good shape.
It's
right.
I mean, at one point the numbers were what? Like the owners only wanted to pay 25% of the salaries.
Yeah, it's been like it's been all over the place. They keep throwing like offers back and forth, and they get more and more complicated every time to the point where I'm like, just wake me up when this is done.
Yeah. So unfortunately, baseball's struggling with that. Hockey may be having the advantage of playing most of their season already to where you couldn't really have talks like that. It was just, okay, hockey, if it comes back, we're just going to pay the players the rest of their money.
Well, players were like, hey, we have one paycheck left. We're good. Thanks, but no thanks. We don't want to be in 35% escrow next year.
Yeah.
We're good. Like let's get on with this. And like it's just incredible that the NHL of all these leagues, the NHL is the one where it's like everybody's getting along.
Mm-hmm.
Very much the league that has gone through lockouts before. The only one to lose an entire season strictly to a lockout.
Right.
And yet they're the ones just like, yep, we're going to get this done, figure it all out. Already have phase 2, entering phase 3, which is kind of our next topic here. Not only do we have the date set for training camp, July 10th is when those are going to start up. Jesse, I'm curious on your thoughts, as not confirmed yet, but pretty much everyone seems to know it at this point, that Las Vegas is going to be one of the hub cities here. A couple of things. One, we've talked about the logistics a lot, but is there any concern that Vegas could have a home ice advantage there?
No, this was definitely something that I thought about. I think it was the last time I was on, we talked about the possibility of these hub cities. There's something that kind of crossed my mind of, well, man, you put these in, a Vegas, or I think at the time, Edmonton, Vancouver, places like that. You say, well, those are going to be teams that are in the playoffs. I think any type of home ice advantage that you would have, I'm imagining that all these players, regardless of if you live in that hub city or not, you're staying in hotels, you're staying quarantined with your team. You'll have a bubble, if you will, that the players and staff and stuff will be allowed in. Nobody else will. Yeah, maybe you say Vegas if they're using the Golden Knights facilities, T-Mobile Arena, City National. Maybe an extra level of just comfortability with, I don't know, sight lines, how the boards play, how the ice feels, maybe an extra level of that. But you think about, you're going to be playing these first couple rounds in these hub cities with these teams practicing on these rinks every day. All their games are being played on the same one. Any type of advantage that a player from Vegas would have, I think, is gone after about a week. You're not playing at any crazy elevation, nothing like that. And they won't even be sleeping in their own beds. So I don't think there will be a ton of advantage, maybe outside of those first couple weeks, first couple games.
Okay. Evan, we haven't really gotten your thoughts on that either.
No, I don't think there's going to be much home ice advantage either, other than like the little things Jesse was talking about, like mainly the things around the rink that they're used to seeing because they play there so much. Everyone remembers Detroit with the bouncy boards back in the day where they would literally shoot for the bank off the boards, things like that. So I think it's going to be pretty minimal. And at that point, everyone's going to have been skated on it for a couple weeks. So yeah, I think it's going to be there a little bit just because they're maybe more used to the climate and things like that, and just being like the comfort of having your family, even if they're maybe not necessarily staying in the hotel with you in the area. But other than that, I don't see much of an advantage.
Okay. I tend to agree with you. The one thing I do wonder about here, they are looking towards a 2-hub city system. So that's 12 teams per city.
Yeah.
When it comes to using practice facilities, and the reality, as AJ and I have talked about, is they'll likely have to use some sort of practice facility or other sheet of ice to play games on just to fit in everything on the schedule. How do they manage that? I guess what needs to be done to get this ready for broadcast and ready for NHL teams to play proper games in?
I guess it all depends, right? It depends on which facilities you're using. Because, I was watching your guys' show the other day, and so you've got T-Mobile Arena, you've got City National, which I believe is out in Henderson, right? So about 20 minutes away. And you've also got, Evan, I'm sure you've gone out and played in it. They do an annual ice hockey tournament every year in Vegas at the Ice Palace. I don't know if it's still called the Ice Palace, but it's right there on Flamingo. So, really close to the Strip. They have a big national men's tournament there every summer, that houses a lot of people. So, it's a nice facility. So it all depends on what they want to do. Every year for preseason, they do the Craft Hockeyville, where they go into these smaller rinks and they outfit them with cameras and, seating and that type of stuff. Obviously, you won't have to, accommodate spectators. But so, it's possible, the NHL is comfortable going into those smaller rinks. Personally, for especially that first round, the best of fives, I think it'd be a ton of fun to see a couple NHL games played in those smaller arenas. Since there won't be any crowds, a little bit more intimate venue. I think all options are on the table right now for the NHL of what's the most efficient way to do this. And I don't see any issue with them going to some of these practice facilities, smaller rinks.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact name. Maybe it's the one Jesse's talking about. They have a rink that's literally attached to a casino. It's you walk out of the rink and you're in the casino buying margaritas and on the table. So
nice.
It's teams can practice there, and if you're the Avs, you've skated at Family Sports. It's really not that different in terms of quality, having played there before. So there are rinks in the area that teams are going to be able to skate at. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're all kind of within a pretty similar area.
But what's an acceptable level there, though? Do you really want to be broadcasting on NBC from Family Sports Center?
Yo, Lollipop Park.
I think it depends. Edmonton versus Chicago in the first round, games 1 and 2. Yeah, to me, I don't really think that matters. I definitely think you want your marquee games that a lot of people are going to be tuning into to be at those nicer facilities. And I completely forgot. AJ brought up a great point. You have the MGM Garden Arena where they played Frozen Fury for multiple decades. That's a 12,000 person arena that they would broadcast Frozen Fury every year on NHL Network. So I think that's a very viable option. I think you could play some legitimate games there because that's bowl seating, good sight lines for cameras. So I think those early on games, I don't think you mind as much playing at those, smaller venues on NBC. Definitely once you start getting into conference finals, Stanley Cup finals, you want those at T-Mobile or legitimate facilities.
Yeah, you also have Orleans Arena where the Wranglers used to play. And so that's still available. And it's like there's enough sheets of ice there that I don't think that's a huge problem. I think their biggest problem is just going to be keeping the quality of ice because
totally
it's not even like, oh, it's 4,000 degrees outside. It's just that it's going to be used 6 times a day. So, that ice it's going to be a challenge for them to keep up ice quality as they get into like the third week of this.
And that's kind of why in my head I look at it, and I highly doubt they do this, but I look at it and say, use every sheet you've got available to you early on. If you can get them up to your standards, and if in one day you can play a game at MGM, at T-Mobile Arena, at City National, and then at one of the arenas Evan and I was talking about, that's kind of like a local rink. If you could get 4 sheets going, that way you're minimizing how much worse the ice is going to be for that last game relative to the first game. I think early on, to me, that's the way to do it, to hold up the integrity of when I say the game, I mean of the individual games themselves, so that you're not dealing with Winter Classic style ice for a playoff game.
Oh, and then when you get deeper into it, you start to eliminate teams. You can rotate facilities.
Yep.
So that you're not chopping it up every single day. You could have one in T-Mobile and then do one at the practice facility, and then the next game is at T-Mobile, so that you're not, you're cutting back a little bit on the workload there.
Well, especially in the early going, as you mentioned, if they want to set things up for the best hockey possible during prime time on television, it's impossible with the amount of practices teams will be making and the amount of time they need to spend on the ice.
Yeah.
How do they upkeep the ice for the important games when they broadcast when everyone is watching? Because at the pace it sounds like right now, especially because it will be playoff hockey, even if NBA does return for whatever's left of their regular season, that's when they're going to be getting the most viewers, is right at the beginning of when it comes back. And if they're putting a terrible product with a bouncy puck and games are 2-1, not going to be the greatest look.
I also wonder what scheduling looks like because you have 12 teams in each city. Is it like, okay, we're going to play in Vegas one day and then we're going to play in, let's just say Columbus. Okay, well, and then we're going to play 6 games in Columbus the next day? Like, what's the plan for scheduling this out? How do you stagger games? Like, there's no way that you could, I mean, games have to start at like noon.
That's
like,
what I was.
You need a day of hockey.
That's what I was wondering if that first round is going to be like 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m.
Right. And then like because they're at different facilities, you have one of them. You have a game start at T-Mobile at 11, and then City National has one that starts at say 1, and then another one that starts at MGM at say 3. And then the second game gets played at each one of those facilities on the day. That's 6 games right there. But then do you do that every day? Like, or do you stagger it? Do you do 3 games in each city every single day? Or do you do all 6 games in one city on one day? And it's just chaos around the city.
I mean, so when you think about it, because that first round, the kind of play-in round, you've only got 4 matchups going at a time in each conference, right?
Well, but you still have to have the seeding round. They still have to play those games because you can't do the first round, and then the seeding round, and then you move on to the first round. Well, everybody's got to play.
Maybe what you do is then maybe you pick 2 facilities. You pick 2 facilities in each hub city. You play a morning game and an evening game. So you play at 11 at City National, 11 at T-Mobile. Then you play at 7 at City National and 7 at T-Mobile. Then on that next day, you play the kind of round robin, if you will. That way, everybody's getting that every other day, and you're only playing 2 games a day at each facility.
Okay, but then, like, from a broadcast perspective, are they going to do that so would you stagger? So, like, say we use your plan, and you do out west, you're doing the 4 playoff series on one day.
Okay.
In different buildings. And then the next day you're doing 2 games of the seeding round. In Vegas. For broadcasting, would you do the Western play-in round, the Western qualifying round, and then the Eastern seeding, and then the next day you do the Eastern qualifying round with the Western seeding?
Totally could. And you just put those games at different points in the day. So the Eastern Conference games start at 11 Eastern time. Right as those end, those feed into the West Coast morning games. Right as those end, you get the second East Coast set, and then as those ones end, you get the prime time West Coast set.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how it's going to work because I don't feel like you can just have one city hub one day and then the other hub one day like that, because I don't know how many of these TV people are allowed to be in these states logistically to where if they're going to have enough people to handle 6 broadcasts from one city in one day, things like that. So that would be one thing I would think that they might have to stagger it, like say 3 in each city each day, just to help out those TV people, because I'm sure they're going to be limited. Like the NHL teams can only bring a certain amount of people.
If you had to, couldn't you cast from a video feed, like if absolutely necessary? But
I think that's how, because the first round usually has local broadcasts,
right?
They might have to do that anyway, where like Connor McGahee's sitting there watching a monitor in the corner or something, and like calling the game from that.
I mean, I guess if you think about it, you could just do you've got one broadcast team for each facility. So it's each broadcast
that would be
team.
Rough.
I mean, not really. You're doing 2 games a day.
Yeah, but especially like if you're doing the prep work like Doc does, like you're talking about long days having to
like
4 teams.
Like what happens when you're 2 weeks into that and that guy's voice goes?
But I mean, they do this every year for playoffs.
Yeah, like they do 1 game. And like
the only guy that does multiple games because he's absolutely insane is Pierre.
Yeah, he's the one that bops around, but the actual broadcasters themselves, They chill. Like they're like,
I know, but I mean, so you think about it. You've got Edmund. So you get assigned 2 different series. Those are 2 series. Yeah, it would definitely 100%. It'd be a lot more prep work. But since these are series, you're not having to learn new teams every game. And as long as you knew that Kenny Albert was the Chicago and the Vancouver series, I think it's possible. But I that's a great point, Evan. And Rudo, it's a lot more prep work individually for these guys. But
could you imagine McGuire just popping into every broadcast in this 2014 playoffs?
Where he's like, he's in one city and like they're like, hey, we're gonna broadcast 6 games today, and he's like,
I'm ready.
I got this. And
see,
like, all right, we've got games on mute at the bar because we're like, okay, we can't handle 12 hours of Pierre.
People give me shit because I have a huge amount of respect for Pierre just because he is someone that would do exactly what you just did. 6 games today. All right, here we go. Can't wait.
You know, that dude's getting up at like 4 a.m. doing push-ups and eating an omelet.
Pre-workout.
Yeah, well, he's doing the Rocky thing. Like he's drinking the straight egg yolks, like throwing them back. Like, all right, got to get pumped up.
Shining his head.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think it's a great time to wrap up period number 1 here, as I did have to duck out a minute to get ready to recognize Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR, as I got myself a Colorado Core here. Look at Evan with the Mountain Beach. Even AJ's reaching over to grab a Mountain Beach as well. So all of the DNVR guys are ready. Jesse, it's a little early to be drinking a beer. Let's be honest, but here we are.
1:30.
I guess it's afternoon. Count it. Either way, if you want some Breckenridge Brew, you can find it from their farmhouse down in Littleton. You can schedule a pickup from 303-803-1380. Also, pick up a meal and get $5 off when you use code DNVR. If you can't make it down to there, you can always get your beer from Davidson's or even your local grocery store, as Breckenridge is pretty much everywhere now. You can use their Breck Beer Locator online on their website to find it near you. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by Davidson's Beer, Wine, and Spirits. I did want to wrap up this hockey talk. We're going to get into some interesting games in just a minute. But
we're doing eBay again?
We're not doing eBay.
Okay, I was unfairly targeted by people that listen to this, the ad monsters, so watch out for what I say.
Well, some interesting movies might end up in your ad feeds after today.
Oh, God.
We'll
Netflix is going to start recommending some weird stuff.
They already do.
So, you know what? Let's start here, actually. We don't have to get into the game yet, but I want to know y'all's favorite hockey movies of all time, because they will not show up in this game that we're going to be doing.
Ooh.
You said favorite hockey movie? Right?
Favorite hockey movie.
Miracle for me, for sure.
Definitely an instant classic there.
Just a true story.
Yep.
Element.
You couldn't write it any better, right?
Right. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, Miracles. I mean, it's definitely the best one made and probably the most realistic one.
Yeah.
I am partial to
Evan's targeted tweet, by the way.
Yeah.
What is that?
Those are my arms too. Yeah.
Someone down there, I don't know if Ali will be able to find it, but someone posted one of their alt logo, and it actually didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Not terrible.
It looks a lot better without the mountain peak at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One solid color for the jersey. So.
Well, I was going to say I am partial to Mystery Alaska and just how ridiculous it is, but I mean the Goon movies are good too. I do like I
really like the first Goon.
Yeah, I kind of like the second one too. I only saw it once, but I thought it was funny, and I was not sober when I saw it, so maybe that contributed to it. But yeah, those are good movies. And then, I mean, yeah, I'll let AJ go.
I'm gonna go with Goon. Miracle's great, but Goon just feels like I don't know.
Someone actually
feels
has
like-
one of the basketball jerseys. Gregor hates the second one.
Oh, that's a bad opinion, Gregor.
Are we sure we want to have you on the show today, Gregor?
Yeah, you get yourself uninvited with that opinion. No, I like Goon because I think it feels like such a hockey culture type of movie, like he's just like such a nice guy, and then you get the different personalities in the locker room, and they're all parodies, and
AJ
they
just
make
wants
me
to
laugh.
be an Adonis. I get it. Okay.
The captain and the speeches, and then the guy that repeats everything that he says, their dynamic just kills me. For whatever reason, they just slay me.
No one thrown it back to the kind of original Goon in Slapshot, though.
No.
Yeah. All right. We're a
It's been
modern
years
podcast.
since I saw that movie, to be honest.
I've
Used to watch
got to just interject one thing here. I was talking to someone recently about the Mighty Ducks movies because those are obviously like classic hockey movies.
Sure.
As a kid, I remember thinking those kids were really good at hockey. Like when I was little.
The dude can't stop.
Well, but then like you watch it later, and they never even taught them like how to skate. Like they didn't like find actors who could play hockey. They just like found actors and sized them for skates.
I watched it back, or a highlight of it or something on YouTube, and in the first practice, Goldberg isn't even wearing goalie pads. He just is standing in net in normal like hockey pants.
Isn't that the joke though? That they like at the start of the movie there was just like a ragtag bunch of group. Like they just don't have anything.
You have to have a goalie, like even if you're a ragtag group.
You put a guy in goal, you call him a goalie.
Without pads. Okay.
But what to AJ's point though, this is Team USA in D2. They're Team USA, and the kid can't stop. Like that never clicked to me when I was little. Like this is supposed to be the best kids in America, and the kid
the goalie skates all the way up the ice, and then like has time to like change out sticks and rip his mask off and say dope shit, and then shoots it. And it's like, right? Well, and it's like nobody else noticed. Like Trinidad and Tobago has a hockey team. Like
Canada's never even mentioned,
right? Like Canada just doesn't exist.
Like 7-1 off screen or something.
It's like Iceland and Trinidad and Tobago, and you're like,
what?
Like I understand that this is like the Goodwill Games, but does that mean it's like designed for America to just like bop a bunch of countries that don't otherwise get to participate? Like where's like Turkey or Israel or New Zealand? Like, what the hell?
Greenland has ice, and Iceland is nice.
I feel like someone who'd never watched hockey in their life was like, pick a country that would be good at hockey.
Yeah, looking back, the hockey's definitely not good. I mean, if you watch the Flying V is bad enough as it is because anyone could stop that.
Yeah,
but then you watch the movie and the neutral zone is like 600 feet long when they're skating out.
That flying V takes a minute.
Yeah.
Not one stride made either. It's just all shuffling up the ice.
Yeah.
And that's why Miracle is the best, because the hockey looks legit.
Right.
Well, that's because in Miracle they got hockey players, and then we're like, "Hey, here are some lines to shout at each other,"
right?
And that was sort of their approach to it. Like they got like I think 4 of the guys in Miracle were related to the actual guys they played in the movie, and so it's like they got actual hockey players. They didn't go out and get a bunch of actors.
Well, I mean, we're talking about not skating. These kids, no one told Russell Crowe how to skate before Mystery Alaska. You watch him in that movie. Whenever they cut to him, he's just gliding.
Yeah. But hey,
that's like me and
got an
beer
NHL contract out of that.
Yeah, I know. The river's hard work.
Yeah, he skates the river and gets to sign a deal to be with the Rangers AHL team. Magic.
Sounds realistic to me.
Well, I assure you that compared to what we're about to see, Mighty Ducks isn't that bad. So we're going to jump into our first game here. It's called Real or Fake. I'm going to show you guys a movie poster and give you a description of the movie, and you need to tell me whether that movie is real or fake. we're going to go ahead and just jump right into our first one. Let's not beat around the bush here. Number one movie is called Score, a hockey musical. And it is about Farley Gordon, who is he is from a small town in Canada. The trouble is that his parents are against team sports despite him wanting to play hockey, and it takes some convincing for him to get on a team. Once he does, he dazzles everyone with his stick work and constant scoring technique and goes on to become a national sensation in a hockey musical.
So that doesn't sound realistic for a Canadian family to be like, nope.
I'm torn here because that poster is very convincing.
Yeah, I know.
This is definitely real.
This looks like a Disney movie or something. So yeah, I would say that's real.
The Canadian division of Disney put this one out.
You would be correct. This movie was made in 2010, and it is the lowest rated hockey movie I could find on IMDb. So,
what's its rating?
2.5 stars.
Is that by the people that watched it or actual critics?
I believe that's by the people that watched it. Let's see. There's 9 critic reviews. We can take a look here.
I want to know what the pros think. I don't care what the amateurs think.
9 critic reviews. 9 people.
A film only a Canadian could love. Homeschool. Yeah. No, there are no good reviews of this. Unfortunately, I don't even recognize most of the places that did a review of this. So I don't think we're going to be doing super well. That person gave it 2 out of 4 stars.
4? 2? What a weird rating system.
Yeah.
2 out of 4.
How do you?
That's 50%.
Being nice.
Yeah, they don't really do much. This one just kind of gives a synopsis of what happened and doesn't talk about the good and the bad at all. So.
Thanks for that.
That really is the most honest review. It happened.
Yeah, right.
It's there.
It was made.
This is proof that I watched it.
Yeah.
Spot the lie.
All right. Our next movie is called Paperback Hero. It is about a hockey player in a small town that begins to lose his grip on reality and starts to believe that he is a gunslinger in the Old West.
Are there no hockey players from decently sized towns? They're all from small towns.
I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you said that the last one was the lowest rated hockey movie you could find, so I'm going to guess that this one is fake. Because I can't imagine this one scored any better than Score.
He looks like a zombie.
Right.
With a leather jacket.
Yeah.
D.
Yeah, right.
What does it say there? I can't. Every woman's had one. Every man's been one
once. Correct.
Maybe he is a zombie.
I don't know.
Yeah, this looks like a book.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fake.
Yeah, I'm going with fake.
All right, you are all incorrect.
Oh,
seriously,
this movie's higher rated than the other one.
This one, it got 6 out of 10 stars.
What?
Seriously?
I believe it's of Swedish origin. It's definitely one of the Nordic countries based on this back end here. Let's see if I can find where the text is. I don't know.
It's creepy looking.
Yeah. I think that's Swedish. Maybe someone from Europe can correct me, but I think that's Swedish up there. Yeah. This movie is not, I mean, it's very tangentially about hockey. He is technically a hockey player.
Yeah, what? That cover has nothing to do with hockey. Is that a girl in a shower? What's happening?
It is, indeed. Yeah.
How does the girl in the shower play into this movie about a hockey player who starts to think that he's an Old West cowboy? A gunslinger?
Here's a review. Your head is full of little dingle balls. This comment, a quote from the film, is probably the most apt description of Rick Dillon, the notorious star player of the Delisle senior hockey team and womanizing key figure in Paperback Hero.
All right. I still don't get it, but all right. So is it like if we watch the movie, is it in English? Like
No, the movie is in Swedish.
Oh,
So
disappointing. 'Cause I was gonna watch it if it wasn't.
Yeah, there goes my weekend.
all right. Next up, we have Growing Up Goalie, which follows a female goalie who was forced into the role by her 3 older brothers, now old enough to join a hockey team and prove all of the boys wrong that girls can, in fact, beat the boys.
sounds like a Disney movie, like Motocrossed.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Paint your nails to cut down on handlebar vibration. I'm going too much based off of what I'm visually seeing, and this does not look like a real movie poster.
Yeah, that looks like.
Yeah,
It looks like
this
Rudo made that in 2 minutes.
I was gonna say this looks like he cropped a picture of a kid goalie and threw up a bullshit title on top of it.
While we were talking about the last one,
Like while I was messaging him 20 minutes to 1 to ask if he was ready to rock, and he was like,
Not yet, hold on.
I'm going fake. This is
I'm going fake.
No.
Yeah, I'll say real just to be the other person.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, it is fake,
Oh,
but I really didn't change it that much from a real one, okay?
Oh my god!
No.
And this stars Rick Moranis, by the way, the real version. So,
Jeez, that
Megan
was really
follows
funny.
is a sentence. That's not a name.
wow.
I also at the top, this was produced by Films We Like Presents, and I was like, if I leave that on there, they're going to say it's fake for sure. So,
Yeah.
What? Oh, I was about to ask what the rating was, but then I forgot it's fake.
yeah, Growing Up Goalie is not a real movie. Hockey Night is a real movie that got 7.1 stars.
Hockey
So-
fans love anything hockey,
I guess.
except that musical.
Yeah, except for
Yeah.
Boy, I wonder why.
Okay. Next up, we have. If I can, there we go. That's hard to see, but this movie is called The Boy Who Drank Too Much, and it's about a popular high school hockey player who has to hide the fact that he drinks too much, and his friend, he's buff, his buddy's name is Billy, is the only man who knows about it. They both liked sports, they both liked girls, but Buff has to be saved.
This looks like an
So it's-
after-school show,
Billy and Buff, who are boys and
and they like
are-
girls.
and like girls.
Correct.
It looks like Scott Baio.
I'm so confused by all of these.
I mean, what's
I want-
hard about this is I feel like a lot of this stuff is like Canadian. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, this could be a Canadian movie.
Yeah,
I don't know, This could have
totally.
been a Canadian straight to the $5 bin at Walmart DVD.
Yeah, right. Or
Scott Baio.
yeah, like you like when back in the day you would go into Blockbuster and they would have like that $1 bin where they would like,
Right.
please God buy these.
Buy these scratched DVDs from
Yeah.
all countries. Yeah,
Right.
it's
all
like-
Rob Schneider
The
movies.
inspiration for this show was me working at a truck stop in all of the second-rate movies that they sell at truck
Yeah.
stop. So
Loyal listeners to the pod will know that we had this idea like 3 days ago, live on the pod.
and the hockey movies I found worked out better than I could have ever imagined. So
I'm gonna go off the title here, and I'm gonna say this one's fake.
I'll say real.
AJ, the split vote.
I don't know, man. That looks real to me.
Final answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go real.
Okay. It is real. Not only is it real, this aired on CBS and was sponsored by Xerox.
I knew it was like an after-school special. Is that Scott Baio? It is Scott Baio.
Oh my gosh! That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I knew it. Oh my goodness.
I think you broke it.
This is so bright. I want us to clip Evan shouting in his Scott Baio to use as a drop in every episode from here on out.
Put that in the intro.
All right. One final movie here as we collect ourselves. The last movie is called Power Play, and it's about Robbie, who is an ambitious Vancouver attorney that wants to win it at all costs. She needs a former pro hockey star to sign with her client's struggling team and help them to the championship.
This looks like another one you made right before the show.
This is definitely fake.
Yeah, I'll agree.
There's no Scott Baio to tip me off, so I'm going to say that's fake.
This movie is very real.
What?
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was made in
Made by you?
1994. It doesn't star anyone I know, unless you know a Mariette de Prima. It has 3 user reviews. All right, let's see. It's hard to believe this film was only 62 minutes long. This is from a person who gave this movie a 10 out of 10.
No.
It was a great piece of art. Doesn't explain anything about it. Oh, what?
Good.
Oh, God. Apparently, it's this. I don't know if this guy's telling the truth, but he says this film was from the Billy Graham Evangelical Association. Here we go. Roberta is known as Robbie and is a hotshot Vancouver lawyer. She works for the local hockey franchise, the Blaze, and she has heard that the owner wants to sell the team. Hoping to up the ante and add a step to her own career ladder, she decides to ask a newly retired player, Cody, to join the roster. Truth is, Cody was an excellent athlete, and the attendance at hockey games would be greatly increased, thus adding mightily to the value of the team. But finding him is a problem. Cody left hockey, became a dedicated Christian, and didn't want to rough up the opposition anymore. All right.
Sounds about right.
Goatee.
That's how you know he was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 of those movies were real, folks. Someone made them, so don't let your dreams be dreams. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to make a hockey movie, go out there and make it. Find Scott Baio.
Yeah.
And do whatever you want to do. We're going to take our second period break here real quick, as it is time to talk about WGT, DNVR's gaming sponsor. With over 20 million players around the world, you can play true-to-life courses, as real-life golf is coming back now as well. So just from the comfort of your couch or on the go on your phone, you can download from DNVRgolf.com and search for the DNVR2 Clubhouse. We're so big, we needed a second one to join in. We do tournaments every other weekend, including this one. We'll have a tournament that runs all of Sunday, so be sure to jump in on that. And if you finish on top, you can even win yourself some awesome prizes. Again, at DNVRgolf.com to download. And we also have to talk a little bit below the belt as well, because Manscaped is around. Father's Day is now less than 10 days away, and the Perfect Package 3.0 would make a great gift, not only for your father, but any hairy man in your life, or yourself if you're hairy. Let's be honest. If you're hairy, you probably know it. I can confirm, being a relatively hairy man myself. So they have you covered over at Manscaped with the Lawnmower 3.0, the anti-chafe deodorant, the spray-on toner to take care of everything, not just below the belt. You want to shave the beard, you want to shave the chest hair, they got you. And it even comes in an amazing carrying case when you order from manscaped.com, and you'll get 20% off plus free shipping when you use code DNVR20 at checkout. All right. third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize to Gregor right now because this is an extremely tough trivia section that we're going to be doing. But we do have the man, the myth, the legend, Gregor Jens. I can't say his name in proper Nordic ways, but he's on the show. If you don't know who this is, if you listen to the audio version of this podcast, he does the outro videos. If you've watched along with our prospect watches and other things like that, he does the Colorado Avalanche song, the Mikko Rantanen song, the Gabe Landeskog song, all of that. Gregor, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Not a whole lot. Trying to recover from Scott Baio existing in a hockey room, mostly, it seems.
Scott Baio broke me.
So, all right. Are you ready for this difficult trivia, Gregor?
Sure, I'm ready.
Let me ask you this. How long have you been an Avs fan?
Well, basically since maybe 2000 or something like that. I was not very old.
Okay. So I mean, most of these will fall into that range.
All right.
Number 1. This season, the Avs had 10 right-handed shots play for them. Name 7.
This current season?
Correct.
Okay. McKinnon.
Yep.
JT Comfer.
Yep.
And Eric Johnson.
Yep.
And Donskoy.
Yep.
And let's see. Already getting hard.
Rookie of the year.
Didn't I say Kale McCarr? Kale McCarr. Okay.
But yes.
2 more. Okay. I have a feeling that it's going to be call up. Martin Kaut.
Yep.
It's 1. And another call up probably. Could it be Megna?
That is correct.
Right. Good.
The other 3 were Logan O'Connor, TJ Tynan, and Connor Timmins.
Oh, Timmins. Yeah. All right.
Did not need very much help with that one. Question.
What's crazy to hear you say 10 right-handed shots all year? Like growing up being a lefty and nobody was left-handed, I just always loved that the NHL is mostly left-handed.
Yeah.
Just total side
I'm
note.
a lefty too. So.
Well, it's an American thing. Most
Yeah.
European players that are right-handed will shoot.
Right. You put your dominant hand high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, play correctly? Nice.
All right. Question number 2. This one a little bit tougher. Which Avs goalie has the highest home save percentage? And there is no minimum game limit on this.
In the entire history
The
of the
organization's the Avalanche's history, I should say. It does not include Quebec. I will tell you this. The goaltender played 11 home games for the Avs.
11 home games. Could be That's a really, really tough one. Do you have any other clue?
Yeah, I can give you a date range. Hang on. He played for the Avs in 99, 2000, and a little bit in 98, 99 as well.
Ooh. That is, could it be? Is it Tommy Salo?
It is not Tommy Salo, but
okay.
Can the audience help a little bit here?
My guess was going to be Mark Denis.
Yep.
All
It
right.
is, in fact, Mark Denis. Excuse me. So, yeah, that one was a little bit off the wall. This one, we'll go back a little more current with our next question. On the 1920 Colorado Avalanche team, who is the latest round draft pick? So, had to be drafted. Logan O'Connor was not drafted. Doesn't count. Who was drafted the latest? I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me what round he was drafted in.
Oh. Let's see. I think Calvert was a 4th rounder. Who else could have been late?
A lot of thinking faces on the podcast right now.
Avs are not very good at developing their own late round.
They sure are not. I can tell you, it's not an Avalanche pick.
I think Grubauer is also a 4th round pick.
Later than the 4th, I'll tell you that.
It's later than the 4th.
Wow.
Okay.
It's also not an everyday player.
So it's a call up, probably. Oh. Who did you say was not drafted earlier?
Logan O'Connor was not drafted.
Logan O'Connor.
It's a defenseman.
It's a defenseman. Lindholm, then.
Nope.
No?
Later.
Later? Oh. This is a really tough one.
It's AJ's boy.
That was a
AJ's
great
boy.
hint you were giving, Evan. That was a great.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave a hint.
What do you do?
I did this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Is that Barberio then?
Yep.
Was he a 7th round pick?
6th round.
6th round.
First
All right.
pick in the 6th round.
All right.
His draft year. 3 tough ones.
Mhm.
They are going to get harder, unfortunately.
Oh, I'll drink to that.
There we go. I guess it's pretty late for you, Gregor. It's
Yeah, it's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Almost dusk here in
There you
Sweden.
go. Way more reasonable to be drinking than me. Of the players that have played less than 1 full season of games with the Avs, who is the highest scoring player in their time with the team?
I think that's Peter Mueller.
It is not Peter Mueller.
Oh,
Do you mean like
Um,
point per game, or what do you?
Total points.
total point.
Cale
what-
Makar is in 2nd.
Oh, someone not less than a full season.
Yeah.
Can you tell me which season?
I can. Give me 1 sec. 05, 06, and 06, 07, parts of each. It's a pretty famous hockey player, just not with the Avs necessarily.
And less than 1 full season over those 2 years.
Correct. He played 79 games in those 2 seasons.
Well, it's probably not Andrew Brunette. He probably played more than that.
It is not Andrew Burnett, correct.
But it's in that era, and I am terrible at that era.
He's most known in Colorado, or at least in my memory, for scoring a goal off the back of a goaltender. Banking it in from behind the net.
Right.
Is he a Hall of Famer? He's got to be a Hall of Famer.
The stuff
Is
you
it
remember about
Turgeon?
It is
Oh,
Pierre
all right.
Turgeon.
I've skated in games with him before, like just commemorative stuff, and he just likes to mess with people. It's so funny. I took face-offs with him, and he would just laugh in my face and wouldn't even look down and just win it. I was like, all right, cool. He's still good.
There's just in case you wondered about the gap to NHLers and regular people.
Yeah, and he's also like 50, so he's still that good.
All right. Final question. I'll give you a shirt if you get this correct. I'll pay for it myself because there's no way anyone on this podcast knows both of these answers.
All right.
The Avs have 2 players in their history that have played a single NHL game and recorded an NHL point. Who are they? One you'll know, one you will not.
I know one.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Because I interviewed him after it happened.
You're telling me I know one of them. All right.
You'll know the name at least when we say it.
So it's a recent player, probably then. if I know
Correct.
him.
Relatively recent.
And probably plays in the NHL right now on another team.
These are
No.
players that have played one NHL game.
Oh,
period.
one NHL game.
Boy.
Did Borna Rendulic play more than one game?
He
Yeah.
did.
He did.
He's French Canadian, the first one.
French Canadian.
He scored a goal as his 1 point, and it was the biggest joke of a goal ever.
No, I don't think I know that one.
All right. Evan, AJ, help him out with the first one.
One of them is Sam Henley.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's no way, unless you look it up, you'll ever guess the other one. But
What team was he on?
what do you mean? He played for the Avs.
I mean, which
Which
iteration?
year?
Oh, sorry. 01-02.
And he played one game.
He played one NHL game. He was undrafted. He played for Hershey for a year. He played for Lowell for a couple of years. Bounced around after that in the AHL and UHL.
Where is he from?
He is from Carlisle, Ontario. He is currently 48. He's a center that shoots right.
Is he married? Does he have kids? Oof.
Was he,
I have-
yeah.
yeah.
Was he born on
Yep.
a leap year? Like,
There's no. The correct answer is a man named Jeff Daw.
all right. Jeff Daw.
Correct.
Well,
Recorded an assist in the game in the 01-02 season for the Avs, and then no one ever saw him again.
Didn't even get a goal. Just picked up a cheapo assist, huh?
Yep.
Probably secondary too.
Could be. Could be. I don't actually know for sure. So the Impossible Avalanche quiz remains undefeated here on Free Skate Friday. Gregor, thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate you being a good sport about the tough quiz, and thank you for all of the amazing music. I'm looking forward to your next banger whenever that comes out.
Who knows?
Oh my God! It was a primary assist.
Wow.
Scored by Joe Sakic, and the other assist went to Patrick Waugh.
Some pretty high company to get your one NHL point with there.
I hope we got
Yeah.
the puck.
They lost that game 5-2.
Wow.
It was
Okay.
definitely his fault.
All right, Gregor, anything you want to say about the Avs or anything else going on in the hockey world before we get out of here?
Well, I'm just excited that we have some kind of date of when something will happen, and I'm very much looking forward to some hockey being played again.
All right, awesome. Good to hear it. Once again, thank you for coming on. It is about our time to get out of here for this show. For Gregor, AJ, Evan, Jesse, thank you to everyone for hanging out for another Free Skate Friday. Hope y'all enjoyed watching this. We're going to be doing this every Friday, having a little bit more of a lighthearted show with fun games and hard trivia. So until next time, we will talk to y'all on Monday.